Have you ever prayed and asked God to heal somebody you love? I think most of us have. And if we live long enough, probably most of us will. We also know something else. We don't always get what we pray for. We live in a world of disease, accidents, and tragedy, and yet we keep asking because sometimes God answers. And when He does, it's a surprise, it's a blessing, and it's something worth rejoicing over. But what about the small things, like a parakeet with a broken leg? When my daughter was a preschooler, she had a little parakeet. One day while she was putting it back in the cage, the door caught its leg and broke it. She was horrified, crying, completely heartbroken. The parakeet honestly was handling it better than she was, but the leg was clearly broken. She asked me to help. So I called a vet and explained what happened. He said, it's no big deal. We just nip off the leg. Parakeets usually do fine with one leg. I did not tell my daughter that. I hung up. I called another vet. Same answer. Oh yeah, those bones and vessels, they're so small and tiny. The best solution is amputation. When I finally told my daughter, as gently as I could, there were lots more tears, more anguish. And then she asked a question that stopped me cold. Dad, can we pray and ask God to find us a vet who will splint the leg so they don't have to cut it off? Decision time. So we held hands and we prayed. Not that God would heal the bird, but that He would just help us find a vet who would save its leg. I took a deep breath, called a third vet, and he said, bring the parakeet in. He examined it, splinted the leg, and that little bird made a full recovery. To this day, I am thankful I didn't make a grown-up practical decision. Instead, I joined my daughter in asking God for help, and God answered. Years later, my wife Susan was diagnosed with lupus. It's incurable. After a year of pain and misery, God stepped in and completely healed her. But that's another story. This story that I'm going to tell you involves a filly, a baby girl horse for all you non-cowboy types. A friend named Beth knew about Susan's healing. Beth also knew a woman whose filly had eaten nightshade, which is one of the most poisonous plants growing naturally in Florida. And two different vets, one after another, examined the filly and both said the same thing. She's too far gone, death was unavoidable, and they suggested euthanizing the horse. The owner didn't want to do that, and Beth, about that time, told her what God had done for my wife. And the owner asked, could Susan come and pray for the horse? Susan agreed, but she admitted, I've never asked God to heal a horse before. She prayed about it, what do I do? And felt strongly that she needed to bring some of the water from our water trough in a jar with her. When she arrived, the owner had been called away, so Susan and Beth went out to the pasture and found the filly laying on the ground, diarrhea coming out, barely alive. Her mother was standing over her. They knelt down, placed their hands on the filly, and asked God to heal her. Then Susan poured some of the water into the filly's mouth. The filly coughed and jumped up. It startled everybody. Beth said, I didn't know it worked that fast. They prayed over the mother horse and the filly began nursing. I remember a couple weeks later, we got a message on the answering machine from the grateful owner. The filly's name was Misty. The owner said, Misty's running and playing like nothing ever happened. Now, we don't always get the answer we want when we pray, but we should always ask, because sometimes the love of God reaches into our lives and heals baby horses.